Hey, folks, right here, and welcome to a new zoo review coming right at you. Almost like the Henrietta Hippo and
Yeah, if you're old enough to remember
that one, yeah. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about is planners or journals or bullet journaling or whatever have you, or just plain. There's so many different kinds of journals, different. So you can make up you don't have to have a certain planner or journal. Like you say, if you're into bullet journaling, uh, you can make up your own. You can have a notebook, however you want to set it up. So, Mike, you were giving some good input last night about journaling, how you do some of your journaling.
Right. I'm pretty, I don't really do like, like make journal entries or anything like that very much. I do have a Midori notebook that I carry around. And I think they intend for you to put a cover on this, but I just carry it around like this,
Mm-hmm.
And I usually just use it for notes in general. If I have ideas, like here I've got ideas for some pens I'm working on and stuff like that. I'll have notes in it. And then see I usually write on one side, but on the back side of this page next to it, for some reason, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was playing with a pen, playing with the nib or something. And so you can see I was just going, playing with the ink on the back side of an old page here. I think I was trying to get the nib to work, because I just built it. It wasn't writing very well, but it takes a little while sometimes for a nib to wake up, And so here I am scribbling away on the back side of the page, but I don't really keep, like I said, it's just notes as I'm going along. Nothing really very special or formal, but that's what I do. And I just have the one notebook. I don't have 6 notebooks like some people. So how many notebooks do you have?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's outrageous. I know.
Yeah. Well, if you have like, I'm going to use this notebook for this subject, and I'm going to use that notebook for this project or whatever. I don't get that organized. I just have it all thrown into one notebook. So
yeah, I understand. Go ahead, Stan.
I have 4 pocket notebooks.
Okay.
Right here. 3. Where's the 4th? Wow. Come on. Oh, there. Yeah, 4 pocket notebooks, and I have 2 notebooks that I use. 2 A5 notebooks. This is a Chinese one, fountain friendly. It's nice. It's okay. And I have from Galen Leather with Cosmo Air light paper notebook here that I start using. It's a nice paper, nice feel. Some ink might bleed through, but nice paper. Like this one is a Clairefontaine paper, but the first time I opened it, on which side was it? Well, this part, the front part, split. So and it doesn't lie flat at all. It barely opens up. So it's very uncomfortable to write in. I would not recommend that notebook. I use it for my G&G, game. This is my I carry it with me all the time. It's a Nemosine paper. I really like this notebook.
Good notebook, good paper. Yeah.
Yeah, just for notes, for just scribbling and stuff.
Yeah.
And this two, one I use for my IT notes, and this one I have my favorite quotes in it.
Yep.
So
yeah. Basically,
I do separate.
Go ahead, Sam. So, I have a marvelous notebook as well. And what I started doing, we started making the own notebooks for them. They're not that hard, were they, Jake?
No.
Just cut them out, staple them in, and then you've got your notebook already done. So we've done that with this. And so what I've done, I've asked Jake to go ahead and download, was it a PDF file?
Yeah.
Yeah, to get the new ones out. So you download your PDF file, you have to pay for under $7.
Yeah, those are very relatively
Yeah,
inexpensive.
and it starts out like this. And I haven't used it yet, but I'm fixing to. And it's got everything that I've been looking for on it, because there's several different types that's on it. And then you're going to come to the good stuff, to January, February calendar, and then it has on here the your top goals, to-do list, appointments, things I'm grateful for, birthdays, special events, notes. Then you go into January. So it's got just about everything I've been looking for. And then it has, let's see if I get all the way to the back. And I think it goes to December. Yeah. And then as of December of this year, it goes into some grids right there, and that's about it. So yeah, this does pretty cool. But this notebook is, I'm putting down the pens I use, dates, the color of ink, who makes it, the nibs, the date it was inked, the date it was cleaned, my thoughts about it, and what else? So basically, that's what I do here. And I started this one about 2020, and the reason why it's taken me so long, I forgot. So now I'm not forgetting. So the pins I've been getting in now, I make sure that I put them in here, ink them up, and put them in here so I won't forget. So when I do a review on a pen, also, I like to have everything in here: the measurements, the weight, the comments, whatever I need, the length, dimensions, all in here, so I just go right through it. Go ahead, Stan. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. You have anything?
No, nothing. I don't journal. I just, like I said, make notes and stuff for various subjects, and I separate them.
Then here's another one that a friend sent me, a planner, and there's different styles of planner. And this has like information, monthly, weekly notes. This kind of hits me with what Mike does, the weekly note type thing. So like here, let me just say that I'm not, if you can see that, not very good. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So, what guests I'm having, what time, when, and doctor's appointments. And then it has a full calendar over here. But again, in notes, everybody's different, and some like more detail in their planners or less. Me, I guess I'm okay with it. But what I do, like for this notebook, it's kind of turning into a journal almost, on things that I've done on each day of the week. And then I'll transfer it to this notebook because I can use my pens more. See, that gives me a reason to use the pens more. And let's just say we'll start right here. And January, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Transfer it here. So, and then I can start, like let's say January, whatever, right there. and start putting whatever notes I want to put in there. So I don't know how long people make their notes or how short they are, but that's how I do mine. And then in the back of this, a friend of mine from India sent me this one. So they have these little monthly calendar stickers that I'm trying to figure out how to use. So it's really a neat little notebook planner. You know, it does the job, and it's been holding the ink pretty well. So a lot of times I find myself using a pencil. So why do I use a pencil? Because a lot of times I do erasing, and I may not can erase what I need to erase. Have to scribble through it. So for me, pencil's fine. Or erasable ink is fine as well. Mike, you have anything?
Well, I think, yeah, actually Stan reminded me, I do have a little pocket notebook I carry around too. I have the big notebook. This is usually sitting on my desk, you know, when I'm working or doing stuff. This is laid out, or when I'm working on pens or whatever I'm doing. If I'm at my office or my office at home, whatever, this is sitting on my desk, and so it gets most of the notes. And it's not, again, this is just it does have a dot grid. I like the dot grid paper, but otherwise it doesn't have anything on it. It doesn't have a calendar or anything like that. I'm just kind of just capturing things day by day as I catch them. And then I do carry around a little pocket notebook, you know, it does the exact same thing. It's just, this is one I have with me all the time. So if I'm walking around and have a thought and I want to catch it, which is not very often, or if I just need to write down some information as it's occurring, I'll just, you know, put it in here, and then I've got it written down. But I do carry around this little pocket notebook too. This one's really nice. This one's made by Kanso Sashi, but it happens to be Tomoe River paper. So it's friendly to fountain pens. That's the nice thing about it. You know, some of these
So
little
that
pocket
is Tomoe
notebooks, this particular one is, some of them are, as I think you were saying, some of them are not as good for fountain pens as others. I try to, you know, restrict myself to things that I know are going to be good for fountain pens. Not that I use fountain pens exclusively. Sometimes when I'm running around, I just have a little a pocket ballpoint pen. I have a little one that I keep on my key ring with my car key and stuff. And sometimes I'm using that, you know, because that just happens to be what's around. But I do like to have the option of using a fountain pen if I am carrying it. So like if I plan ahead, I'll carry it around in a little case like this, which has some slots for pens. So
now, what's the name of that case there? What is the name of that case? What is the name?
Oh boy, it's Rickshaw. Rickshaw makes it.
Rickshaw.
Okay. And I don't know the name of it, but it basically will hold a pocket notebook. You know, it'll slide in, and it has 3 slots for pens. So I'll often carry my pens. You know, when I'm running around, like when I go to my office, I will put a couple pens in here, and this is where I keep my pens. If I'm running around and I just have my pocket notebook, I'll stick this in a jacket pocket. You know, it still takes a lot to remember to keep this. So very often all I have is just this little notebook in a pocket somewhere, you know, because it's so easy to carry. So it's not really anything big. Let's see, where was the other one? Oh, here. I have this other case. This is a Notco case for the big notebook, right? And so it's hard to see. It's black, of course, so it's not showing up very well on the camera. It's sort of a canvas, oil canvas. I don't know. I think Rickshaw has started making some of the Notco cases, but again, it has 3 little slots for pens, and it has a couple pockets here. So this notebook, this pocket book here will just slide in there with a couple pens, and I'll throw that in my backpack, you know, so it'll be with me when I'm running to my office or whatever. So that's how I carry the other notebook. That's why I don't bother having a case for it, because or a cover for the pages. I think this is an Midori notebook, and they intend for you to buy covers for it, but I never get around to it. I just use the notebook. So that's how I carry things around, though. That's the cases I use.
Here is like what you have. This is a Midori, smaller size, but A4 maybe.
This is an
Maybe.
A5 here. That
Okay,
looks like
this
it's
is
about,
A4 then. Yeah.
that looks
So
like it's
now
the
this
same
is
size.
yours. So I went ahead and got the whole enchilada and got the cover for it, the plastic
Okay.
cover box. And I lose everything. Here we go. And it even has one of these, ideas and diary and the start, finish, and from the library or whatever. But it's like this one has like a cardboard top to it. And here's the cover. And what's cool about this, you can slide them in real easy. And I guess they will protect your notebook. I don't know. Like I said, I have never been with that one. And they also, you can pin or whatever you want, one of the loops here. And then on the other side, you can do the same thing. So there's two loops, one on each side of the cover as well. And this is Tomo River paper. Now, this is a little thicker, I believe. It. I'm trying to get the Midori, Japan, and I don't see the paper weight of it. It's Midori paper. The rest is in Japanese, and I don't know. But anyway, I started this back on. What's really cool about it, May 10th, 2019, on Friday, all the way back to that date. So what was I doing that day? Writing in this, and that's kind of interesting. So how does that hold up with the ink? Very well. There's the front of one, and then blank, of course. Nothing. So here's one with. I'm trying to find one with the back cleared, but it holds the ink really well. I had no problems with it, none at all. So this is a good one. So question is, if I like it so well, why haven't I got another one? I don't know. I just hadn't gotten another one. I don't have a good answer for that.
Well, if you're still using it, you've been using it since 2019. I
Well,
don't
I'm
think you
already
need to rush out and buy more. That one's lasting for a little while. I think my
Well,
notebooks usually last about 6 months or so, depending on just what's going on. So I go through them a little bit faster than that. And then I'll stick them I have a drawer where I just have a stack of them. So again, like you say, I want to go back and go, oh, I remember I was doing something last, February or whatever. I can look at I put the dates on the front cover, and then I can go find the right one for that date, and then, page back through the notebook and find what I was doing. So find my notes. But I go through them a little bit faster. I usually have a stack of that's what I said. I think I've got a couple more of these, and I've got different ones. I've been trying different ones. I can't say that I have one that I use all the time. I just, either go to pen shows, or if I go to a store or see them online, someone will say, oh yeah, here's a really nice one, like you're saying here, and I'll go buy one next time I'm looking. And so I have a stack of them that I'll work through as time goes by. Like I say, every few months I have to switch to a new one, and I try it for a while. I haven't found one that I say, okay, this is the one, I have to use it,
So does anybody use pencils while they're in their journaling or planners?
I very rarely use a pencil.
No, I don't use pencils. I use my fountain pens.
I usually use my fountain, I usually use my fountain pens. I sometimes use roller balls or ballpoints, I go both ways. But I do have a little one of these Kuratoga pencils that I keep on my desk.
Right,
And,
I got one.
A little mechanical pencil, and I use this a lot when if I'm sitting down really sketching, like if I'm drawing out and drafting some idea, which is not that often, but I mean, sometimes I'm drawing it out in great detail to scale and all this, and it's nice to have a pencil and an eraser so you can kind of clean things up, and I don't think I have an example in this notebook. I haven't done it for a little while. But I'll do a drawing to scale of something I'm working on, like a pen idea or something or whatever it is. And if I'm doing that kind of thing, I like to be able to, you know, draw things in and then erase guidelines and things like that. So that's about the only time I really use a pencil like this, though. I don't usually do much writing with it. One of my pen pals wrote a letter to me in pencil, and just as an experiment, I replied with this pencil. And I have to say, it is kind of nice. I mean, I'm not a big pencil person. Historically, I used to always write with too much pressure, and I would break the leads.
Right.
And
I'm here.
I get excited and start writing fast, and then bang, I break the lead, and you know, whatever. But so I'm not a big mechanical pencil person, but I think I'm learning my lesson. I've been writing with fountain pens for a few years now, and I'm learning not to push down so much. And I was able to write the letter without breaking the lead even once. That's a big accomplishment for me. But it's also nice for me because I don't know about you, but when I'm writing, sometimes I'm thinking about what I'm trying to say and not thinking so much about how I'm writing, and I'll just make a mistake, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'll write something wrong. You know, with a fountain pen, you just go, fine. And that's actually one of the reasons I like writing. I usually write all my letters on A5 paper. If it's really a bad mistake, I don't have to rewrite too much of a page.
That's true. That's true.
Because I'll get about halfway down the page, you know, and my mind will wander or something, and it'll just be, oh man.
Yeah.
I can strike through it, I guess, and try to start again. But usually I'll just start a new page then at that point. But with a pencil, you know, if like for me, it's pretty practical. If you make a mistake, you just come in with your eraser and you can start over again. So I might consider using a pencil.
I do have a few pencils that I have right here,
Ah, yeah.
but they just
yeah.
Pencil man. Pencil.
So what do you write with the pencils?
Actually, rarely. Just mostly I use them when I have to mark something, like if I'm fixing something, you know,
Right.
like something like that.
Yeah, I will use, that's actually, I probably spend more time, like if I'm marking something, like I'm going to hang something on the wall or something.
Right.
I use this for marking where I'm trying to put it, you know, like here's where I want the two. I get a level out and draw a line. And again, I can come back with my eraser and get it off the wall. But so this gets more use like what you're doing. But you have quite a selection of them.
What I also do, I always carry a journal pen case around with me, a small one. So if I do write notes, believe it or not, time to time when I'm out and about. And right now I have I think it's a gel pen there. Could have been rollerball. Some kind of dog pen somebody made. I don't know why, but it's in there. Blech. No, I'm teasing. So, and then I have another pen. But anyway, the notebook that's in here, a friend of mine got me this, him and Kara Frank Overman, the notebook. I'm sure you've heard of that, have you? Heard of that brand, but good paper right there.
Right.
I like it. It does the job. Prepared in Tokyo, and I'm trying to. It's pretty decent with ink. Not always, but fairly. And what's really weird, I've used this many times before, and like, here's some of my favorite. I'm an artist that I like to share with you. I know I'm really good. Here's my pictures. Isn't that good? I know.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. So anyway, what's really weird is that maybe y'all have an answer. I don't. I made a calendar as well, just scribbling, throwing around. But the weird thing about it is the paper this time, same paper I've been using for a while, has started to bleed through. So I use the other side of the paper, but I still like it. But this is my first time to experience this notebook from Japan, Tokyo, to be going through all this. Beats me. So that's one thing I do. All right, anybody have anything to say? And I'll shut up for a minute. Oh, let's start. Anybody? Stan.
Yes.
What else?
Well, last weekend, Philly Pen Show.
Oh, yeah.
There was a Philly Pen Show last weekend. And for people who are afraid or don't know if they should come to the show, every year there's at least one or two things that are new. This year, there was an artist from Toronto, from Canada, uh, wonderful artist. He makes greeting cards and magnets. Amazing detail. I bought one for my mom's birthday, which was past Wednesday, but we will be celebrating this evening for 7 years. It's called. His website is roseswithoutthorns.net. If you're interested. And there is a brand new retailer who just opened up a month ago. They're near Nashville. They call Mirror. Damn it, it's Mirror.
I think I've heard of that kind of pen before.
Shmurudi pens. You get and you can see on the other side the nib with an S. Shmurudi means memories. Wonderful people. She was there with her husband and two little kids. They're originally from India, and she got into fountain pens because of her arthritis, and it was easier for her to write with a fountain pen. She got passionate and opened her own store. Very, very nice people. I bought a bottle of ink from them. I just had to support them. And she told me she was overwhelmed by how much support she got from people at the Philly Pen Show. She said she came to the hotel room after the first day and cried, actually. A very, very nice lady. You'll like her. I bought, there was a station with, was it Regalia paper? They had notebooks. Oh, I forgot the name of the notebooks. They had wonderful notebooks, but I bought an endless notebook from Frank and one of the pen cases. Prices went up. I bought
Yeah.
a pen case and it cost $40. So prices just.
Oh yeah, everything's gone up. Yep.
Yeah, seriously went up. So I got what I accomplished what I wanted, but someone from my pen club pointed out that it's actually pretty good to come on the last day of a pen show because some retailers, if they have leftover and they don't want to drag it back with them, they might give it to you on sale or on a really good deal. So that's about it.
How about you, Mike?
Well, I haven't really gone to any pen shows yet or anything like that. I'm planning on going to some. I'm going to do the same ones I did last year: the Chicago, the St. Louis, and the Dallas. So I might see you down there, Larry.
Good.
Maybe
We're waiting to eat.
catch up with each other. And there's a new pen show, the Pacific Northwest Pen Show, which is in Portland at the beginning of July. So I'm going to go to that one. I have a son that lives near there, so it'll be a chance to visit. Oh yeah, good.
Portland, Oregon.
It's Portland, Oregon. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a son that lives out there, so it'll be, that's a great combination. I'll be able to go visit him and go to a pen show. So that'll be really nice. But so I'm going to go from 3 to 4 pen shows. So that's more traveling than I've done before. So I'm getting there.
Going on up. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how some of these people do it. I don't know. Stan, did they the Shmurudi pens? Did they say they were going to do more pen shows or?
I am not sure, and there's nothing on the website. I didn't ask them, but
I'm just curious.
They're located near Nashville. I assume they're gonna go to DC Pen Show. I mean, it's the largest one,
which is close to them too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Close, kind of. Yeah. Good.
I mean,
how about you? Do you have any plans to go to some more pen shows this year, or is?
I'm not sure. The only other pen show I could go to is a DC Pen Show, and I'm just not sure yet.
Right. Okay.
I could consider East Coast, like North Carolina, maybe as a vacation. We'll see.
Right.
So, Stan, do you drive to these pen shows?
Yes.
Are they close enough? Yeah.
Well, Philly is where I live, so for me it's right there. DC is about 3.5 hours away, so yeah, I can drive there.
Right.
Okay, and a few more. I think I got a whole bunch. A few more I'm going to show is another my setup. Have you heard of the Lockbee brand?
Yes.
This Lockbee, is it any good? I think it really, really do. I'm not just saying it. Just, you know, I put all these notebooks, planners, journals, all through kind of test and hard, rugged testing. So far, they've withstood it, you know, with buckle, good coat. But anyway, this one has the, it's set up with 4 strings in it that I can put in different notebooks and take them out easy without having to disassemble it like I do the Midori, which is a pain. So this can hold 4 and I can piggyback 2 on 1 if I want. And you know, here's what the inside looks like. Let me show you real quick. I don't mess it up. Right here. Pretty good. See, here is like, that's the inside. I don't know if you see that well. I have different 9 and grid and calendars. And here's the list right here in blanks. Yeah, there's the blank, and the really good as well. See if I can find something to show you. 'Cause I really laid out the ink right like just writing junk down there, and paper works real well. Tumble River paper as well. They put in it. Here's something in the back. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Here's a dot grid. That's how they come when you buy them. Just like, can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
So this comes in real handy, and it does have a loop, and I have a Lamy in there, ballpoint and pencil. And this ballpoint has, I believe, a blue and a red, yeah, ink in it for the ballpoint. I mean, mechanical pencil in it, and it does a job. I mean, so why have I stopped using it? I guess I try not to stop doing it. If I remember, I will pick it back up, but it has come in very handy. So that's one of them. And then last but not least, here's a pen. Now this is from Galen Leather. Now you've heard of Galen Leather, right? Okay.
I have
Here's a
the
Galen Leather notebook pen thing. So we just open this little jewel up and leave what's in it right here. It's a journal pen thing. Can y'all see pretty good? Okay. So there's that. And really a really nice notebook. I believe they came with it. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure the paper, there was some bleed through a little on this paper, but it just depends on the ink that you were using. So that was pretty decent as well. So I've got enough notebooks, I think, to last, I guess, what, for a while. Then there was one more I wanted to show because I really, really liked it. And it's not much of nothing to show, but the paper itself is really, really great on it. Oh, where's that? No, I think it's in the bedroom. I think, but it's where is it? It's a notebook made. The paper is, you can buy them at Walmart, and the paper made in Vietnam. I think like $1 a notebook, but really, really are good. And I've been using some just to use it for some letters, but they really are really, really good, remarkably good. They take ink really well and just fun to use. So those are my notebooks for now. Will they change any by the next time? Probably so, but that's okay. So does anybody else use more than one notebook like me? I mean, I use them religiously. Like in the bedroom, I use some, in the den, I use some, in the pen room, I use some, in the car, I use some. So it's always writing. And then, Mike, you know, this when I review a pen, I want to make sure that pens work well. So I do a lot of scribbling, writing, in different notebooks to see how the paper handles. So that's another reason why. So when you're reviewing stuff, there's a lot of work behind it to make sure that you're going to get the best of a report you can to the people that are watching. Because I hate watching a review and everything comes out so excellent, and I get it, and it doesn't. So,
Right. So I would think when you're reviewing pens, see, like I don't review pens, but I mean, if you're reviewing pens like you do, you would probably want a notebook or a collection of notebooks or whatever, where you can, like you were saying, you can try it with, here's paper X, here's paper Y,
yeah,
whatever, a set of different papers, and you do it consistently with each pen. So you can compare them side by side on the different papers. And so your needs are very different from mine. I don't really review pens, so I don't really have to do that. But and of course, and you want to do it, you need a notebook that has this particular paper, and you need to have it all around all the time for your reviews. And I'm not quite at that level, you know. I just, you know, so I don't have the same needs you do. So I guess a lot depends on where you are. And then the other thing I've thought about is, you know, for me, what I have a lot of trouble with just plain carrying things around, you know. Like I've got this, you know, this A5 notebook, and it usually goes in this little case, and it usually goes in my backpack when I'm traveling around. But if I don't have my backpack with me, I don't have my notebook, right? And likewise, I have my little pocket notebook, which I stick in my pocket, or, you know, fortunately here where I live, during the winters, you're always wearing coats. So you have pockets you can stick something like this into and have with you. But otherwise, if I'm just walking around, so like in the middle of the summer when you're wearing a t-shirt and shorts, what do you do with all this stuff? And I still haven't solved that. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but I mean, normally you're wearing, you know, I've got jeans and a shirt on or whatever. I'm not carrying a backpack or a big bag or anything like that. So I don't have places to carry these things. So my problem is I need to have a little pocket notebook or something to carry with that I could slip into any kind of pocket and have with me, you know. And it'll, when it comes to writing, like I was saying, I have a little ballpoint pen that I keep on my key ring. And sometimes I find myself writing with that just because that's the only thing I have. And so I don't know what your solutions are in terms of, I know when you're doing pen reviews, of course, you have everything laid out on your desk. But for, you know, when you're out running around, how do you deal with carrying things around? I mean, does anybody have any ideas?
you know, I always take pens with me,
Yeah.
and or different pen cases, because I'll eventually going to do a review on the pen cases as well. But you know, I take 3 or 4 pens, and I'm going to focus on one pen, let's say, for that review. So that I'll spend most of my time, you know, writing regularly, reverse, and hot, cold, weather. I do all the testing that I'm aware to do, and it may take me a week to 3 or 4 months or do an update on that pen if I find that pen is not working correctly after, let's say, a month, 2 months after I done a review on it. I need to correct it and go on there and say, well, this is what I found. Doesn't mean it's a bad pen, but it's not doing what it needs to do. But yeah, it takes a while to do a review. There's some pens that I don't have any problem whatsoever with, none. Do I wash my pens out before I use them when I get them in? No, I just ink them up and use it. They're fine. Some people, you got to clean them out real good and wash them out and blah blah blah. You know, and that's called respect. That me, zero. They come in here and, oh, look at this dinosaur or something. And okay, I'll think that little monster up, and here we go. Now I know what I'm going to get because I know where that pen comes from, and I expect nothing but the highest remarks to get from that pen. I mean, I know this pen is going to work extremely well, it better. So anyway, and it always does perform, so I never had a problem with it. Even real quick, people like journaling. I love journaling, and bullet journal. I'm trying to get back into. I may, but these books are so expensive. Like this bullet journal I showed you. Yeah, bullet journal right here. They're not cheap, and this was done some years ago. I don't know what they are now, but I'm sure they're 2017. I'm sure they're more expensive now, but I used the heck out of it. I was really into it. And, you know, you have your index. It tells you how to set it up. It gives you help. I mean, it does everything to keep you on track, to keep you focused on what you need to focus on, what you need to do. So is it helpful? Yeah, it has a daily log like I've done. It's blank, but you fill it in. All of this is really helpful. So how did I get out of it? Well, you know, when I started getting ill, not that I lost interest, I just didn't feel up to it. You know, it's just like I felt bleh. So I stopped and never went back to it. Now I'm thinking, should I? And you got all kinds of stuff in here. Let me see, from Kirk and from the people who helped design this. And you've heard of them, right? I'm sure everybody has. And it's got a little, like a folder in the back you can put stuff in. But it's got everything you need. So has anybody ever been into bullet journaling? Anybody here?
I've heard of it, but I have never done anything formal with it. I do a lot of checklists and things when I'm doing things, but it's not really bullet journaling. Usually if I'm working on something and I want to do a certain sequence, I'll write out the checklist, but it's just a checklist. It's not the journaling where you're doing the different actions like that.
How about you, Stan? Have you ever tried bullet journaling?
No, I haven't tried. But to what Mike said about during the summer, how we carry
Oh, good. Yeah.
pens. I usually wear shorts with breast pockets during the summer, short sleeve, and I have this Franklin Christoph 3-pen case.
Yeah.
Okay.
I modified it to remove this. But the stitching on this so strong. It took a lot of force to do that. They are incredible. And usually this pen case and the pocket notebook fits perfectly in my breast pocket. And if I need to carry more, I have a bag. I have a leather bag there. It's a laptop carrying bag, but it has a lot of pockets, so I can carry a lot of stuff in it if I need to shoulder.
Okay.
You know, there was one, you know, I said that was the it. Of course, I've got so many back here. It's like, whew, they're over there, they're over there, down there, they're over there. These are notebooks. And being a song, how do you say it, Jake?
No sign.
Being a sign, I guess that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Did you just say that, Stan? This notebook right here.
Yes.
Good paper.
Yes,
I like
good
it.
paper.
I do for real. Just saying it, I really, really like it. And also, I'm sure you've heard of endless paper.
Yeah,
Right.
I have a notebook
What
and
is
this
that?
notebook I bought them.
I love endless paper. I don't know if we all get yours. I think the one that I'm aware of that sells it only by Frank, I Pendulum Pens and Paper. I love, love, love that paper. I love the notebook. It does very well, handles the ink very well. And I think that comes from India, I think. But they've done a great, great job with their products.
Endless.
There it is. Yeah, endless. Yeah,
Endless
yeah,
recording.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, I've used
I
that.
love it, love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
68
There's so many different.
Tomo River. It's a Tomo River paper. 68
Right.
GSM.
Okay, so there's so many different notebooks on the market,
Yes.
so many different planners, so many different bullet journals, journals. What else is on the market? There's notebooks. A5s, A4s, you name it. There's I guess something for everyone. Uh, I usually, when I write letters, use Tomo River paper. Tony Rasuti, how do you say
Rustici.
Rasuti? Now, we need a few years back, and we bought a whole big giant box. I mean, a huge box of Tomo River. Remember when it was going to be gone? So we bought it, the original, and we split it down the middle. And I've given a lot away, but I have a lot left. So we love the paper, and that's what we use for our letters, except with me, because as my brain cells change, I go up and down like a pogo stick. Because I like trying other notebooks. I like trying other papers. I wanted to see what it feels like. And because doing reviews, I need to find out, is this better than this paper or not?
Right.
And sometimes it's not so much of paper being better than another paper. It's more to the liking of the person using the paper. It might suit him or her better than this paper does. And again, it doesn't mean it's bad. And some people may take that and go with it and thinking, well, this is no good because, yeah, he said he uses this notebook and doesn't like the paper. Well, no, I like the notebook. I like the paper, but to my liking, I prefer this paper over this paper. Why? Well, so let's take Tomo River paper. I guess I've been so used to using that from day one, kind of stuck on me. Like Clairefontaine, you mentioned, Stan. I've used it and given it all away, brand new books, and here's why. I was wondering why my pens were skipping, and not just one, which is some years ago. And these are pens that never ever skip. But when I put them on Clairefontaine, they started skipping, thinking because the paper was too smooth. So I sent my pens to some people I know to retune them. They said, Larry, there's no need tuning. It's not your pen. It's not Baby Mama. It's not that. It's the paper. So I just stopped using it. But there's people today that love Clairefontaine, religiously use it, and more power to them. I didn't get that experience. See, so.
Yeah, your mileage can definitely vary, from one person to another, but also people just have different preferences. I was using, I usually buy, like I was saying, I don't really have anything that's my quote favorite right now. I like a lot of the different papers. I was using way back when I don't remember which notebook it was. It wasn't Endless, but it was another one. But it was all the Tomo River, the 52
paper. Was it Mimosine?
No, it was somebody else. We haven't mentioned them.
I'm sorry.
But the nice thing about it though is that I think it had like 300 pages in it because the paper is so thin.
Regalia?
So there were a lot of what?
Regalia paper, maybe?
I don't know. I don't remember. It wasn't. No, I don't think so. But anyway, but you get the idea. It was the notebook itself was really nice, but and of course, as we all say, it handles the ink really well and all that. The only thing, and this is several years ago, the only thing I didn't really like about it was that the paper was so thin and it would rattle, and move. If you do something like, especially if you have the misfortune of using a pencil on it and you try to erase, the paper is so thin that you move it around, it'll crease and do all this stuff. Not that, that's just that particular usage. It didn't work that well because I take that, like I said, like I do now. I take one notebook and I just use it all the time. I'll turn the page. Who knows? I might be writing with a Sharpie on it tomorrow. Who knows? It's whatever I have at hand.
Right.
This is something I'm carrying around with me, and so it gets a lot of different usages. And some papers are really good for some things and not so good for others. And so depending on how you use the paper, I was just using I just finished the pad of it. It was Life bank paper that some people like a lot. And so I bought a couple pads of it for my letter writing. And as I was writing, I just finished it last night. And it was a little, I guess the word they would use is toothy. there was a lot more resistance. You could feel the texture of the paper more when you were writing with your pen, you know what I mean? So you're getting more feedback. It wasn't scratchy, but it was feedback, and you could hear it. It made a lot more noise as you were writing, and it seemed to be working just fine with the pens. But it was just, for me, it was just a little bit too much resistance. You know, I'd like a little less resistance. You know, and as you were mentioning a moment ago, Clairefontaine, when I just, you know, I'm a newbie. I just got back into fountain pens about 5 years ago. And when I first got back in, I was using Clairefontaine, and I loved the paper. It's so smooth and all that. But exactly as you said, I had a couple pens, and we won't mention names or brands or anything like that.
Right.
I'd be writing along, and about on the second page, the pen would just run dry. You know, and it was because it was just the combination wasn't working really well. Not that there's anything wrong with Clairefontaine, but the pen I was using and the ink I was using and that Clairefontaine paper, it just didn't keep the pen moving if I wrote, especially if I was just sitting there writing really, really like not stopping to think, just writing. About on the second page, that pen would just run dry, and I would have to stop and let it catch up again. And I think it was just because the combinations of things just weren't working quite right for me. But I've used it since then in other ways, and it's worked beautifully. And of course, I still love the paper, but it's very nice. I don't know, you know, so I think, you know, a lot of it is just, you know, there is no right answer. I know a lot of times people go, oh yeah, you know, I worship at the altar of Pomeroy River, you know, and it is a good paper, but there's other papers, and each of them have different characteristics.
No, I love Tomo River paper. Love it, but there's no paper.
I know.
There's other delicious papers out there that I enjoy as well. You know, you know, I'm not knocking anybody, but there is. I mean, like I said, I've always used Tomo River paper for my letters. Now I've been using Endless. I've been using that one note from Walmart.
You remember that sugar cane paper?
Sugar cane paper. Whatever I did with that, turn my son.
It's still in the notebook somewhere.
You still have it?
I have it. You have it somewhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's one called sugar cane paper.
Isn't that the one you threw into a fire?
Funny.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's the combination.
And little sugar canes came out. No,
paper.
sugar cane.
Sorry, Stan?
It's the combination of the nib, ink, and paper. Finding the perfect combination that works for you.
Right.
So, but that was good paper. But yeah, I do use other paper now, because I'm saying if I don't use them, they're just going to sit here. I'm never going to use it. Then what?
Right.
So I'm using it just like that. So, okay, real quick, who's going to reach for which notebook and style today or to finish up the week with? You're going to do 1, 2, 5. I'll probably end up doing 4. Stan, how many for you, then Mike?
Okay, go ahead.
I have 2.
2, okay.
Right. My answer is the same. I have 2. I have this notebook, and you can see it's about halfway done. So shall we say I'm about 2 months into it. So I will be using this notebook for sure until these pages run out. Okay. When these pages run out, I'll go to my drawer and pick out the next one. And I do try to, I usually have a pile of them around that I want to try. And as I said, I haven't come up with one that I think is the one I just have to use for the rest of my life. So I keep moving around. And I have my pocket notebook that Stan reminded me about. I carry this around. And again, this is just, I guess you want to call this a stream of semi-consciousness writing. Just whatever comes to me, I write. Whatever I need to do. If I need to record an idea or some information, it gets thrown in this. There's no organization. It's just blank pages.
Oh, I like that.
There's no calendars. There's no remind. Nothing. No formatting, which suits me. I'm just kind of page by page go. So that's basically what I do. I'm just doing effectively these 2 notebooks, which I happen to have at hand. So I don't have to really think about which one to pick up.
Stan, you have anything to say?
No.
Okay, real quick. Some other notebooks I use and paper I use, believe it or not. I want to share with you guys. And this one is a Odyssey notebook. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
Mhm.
They were on the Philippine show. Yes.
Here it is right here. Just a blue one. I do like the cover, blue. Not on it. So it's I've done one page. Here it is. 8/7 size, Tomo River, 68 G's. I don't know. I've done that with it. And then I've got more. And then, of course, the one and only, here's one for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tomo
Rhodia.
River.
Rodeo.
I mean, Rodeo
Rhodia.
River.
Rhodia. Yeah.
The
I use that.
grain. Yeah. Yeah, good old rodeo paper. Good paper. Everybody like it or any dislikes on it? Why? So,
No,
yeah, I like it.
I have several pads. I use that for writing letters. I use the A5 tablets or whatever you want to call them. And I use that
Yeah.
for writing letters a lot.
So there have been some good ones through the years. Like I said, Lord, there's just so many. You know, where do you stop? Where do you draw the line?
Stiff flexible notebook.
Okay.
Called Stiff Flexible. I don't know if you can see. And
Mhm.
this one, it's okay. I bought it from Frank a while back. Couldn't pass it
Oh,
by.
let's see that one. I want to see that.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah, that would be fun.
It's a lined one.
Complete, yeah.
Oh,
see inside, Stan. No, if you don't mind, just a blank page or something.
I think it was still wrapped up.
Oh, it was still wrapped up? Okay. All right. Is it just a journal or does it have calendars or dates in it, Stan?
no, it's just a journal.
Okay.
Just a notebook, yeah.
You pick that up. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Lined notebook, yeah.
So, here's another one here, I think from Days or some complete. That's really decent as well. Remember who we got this?
No,
Or did Frank get it? Sure.
might have been.
It's been so long. So, I can go on and on and on and on and on the whole day at it. So, all right. So before we leave, anybody want to say any final things?
Nope,
Right.
Just
I like that.
Keep writing. Keep writing.
Keep writing, yep.
Keep writing.
Oh, and to anybody watching that are pen pals of mine, letters are coming out a little faster. Forgive the writing because it's just horrible as ever. If you can't read it, good luck. You might want to go to a college or a professional handwriter to analyze
Actually,
that.
the best person to take this to, I had a friend that did this. He worked at the post office, and the people at the post office have learned to read almost everything. So if you have an acquaintance or a friend that works at the post office, they can decode almost anybody's handwriting. But I'll shout this out again. Like you, I was way behind on my letters. I mean, I don't want to talk about how many letters I was behind, but I used Inkvent in December, the Inkvent calendar. So every day during Advent, I had another little bottle of ink, and I would fill up a pen with it that day, and I'd write a letter, and I did that every day. And it was kind of fun, a new ink every day. You open up surprise, here it is, a new ink. And I would fill up a pen and write a letter. And by the end of Advent, I had caught up, okay? So that's really nice. And now I'm kind of thinking, I was just thinking about this last night. NaNoWriMo is coming up. Maybe I should make myself an NaNoWriMo calendar, right? With a new ink every day. I don't know if it's really practical. I don't know if it's really practical to keep buying a new ink for every letter you write, but it would be a lot of fun, don't you?
Well, you can buy samples.
That's what I was thinking. Samples. That's what. Well, the Inkvent calendar is basically like that. Most of the bottles are little teeny ones. They're like little sample bottles. So you could say, go to some ink brand or some inks that you haven't bought and just buy a whole pile of samples. and just use one of those samples every day. Fill your pen and write a letter. Drink NaNoWriMo, since you're trying to write a letter every day anyway. And that would be a lot of fun. And my ink acquisition brain, you know, I know none of you have this issue. I kind of buy too many inks, and the idea of buying lots more inks is very attractive. So it would enable that whole problem. It might be fun.
Well, and also, you don't have to use a fountain pen, so you can use a dip pen. So that way, not a whole lot of
Yeah,
dip.
that's true.
Right.
And then another, yeah. Hi, this is my new ink. So, yep. Do they?
New ink.
I've never participated in that before. Just never had the time, and just the
Right.
thought of it. Are these old inks or brand new inks that come out?
Well, I mean, you can make up your own rules. No,
I'm just saying on this ink thing that comes out, this ink calendar. Did they come? Are they brand new colored?
These, yeah, the Diamine Inkvent calendar. I believe these now. You know, you do a red ink, you know, how different is it from all the other red inks? That's another question. But I think all the inks in the calendar are, quote, brand new inks. All right. Now, some of them then become part of their permanent collection. You know, Diamine, like a lot of them, they make a lot of different inks. I can't keep track of them. And they do sell the ones they think are popular. They'll sell them in these really cool little bottles, you know, later. After the calendar is out, you know, I think at this point, for example, I don't think you can buy a calendar. I think they're all sold out, but you can buy Diamine, some of the inks from that calendar. I haven't looked at. They did that in. I missed the first one, the 2019 one, I think it was. But I kind of thought, oh, that's kind of cool, that's kind of cute. And then by the time I made up my mind to buy one, they were gone. But they did come out later with some of the inks in bottles. So I bought a couple of the inks that I thought were interesting looking, you know. But yeah, otherwise it's a brand new ink. And so I think Stan's idea, just basically buy yourself a set of samples that you've never used, and then you have little sample bottles. And so you could build yourself your own little calendar for like NaNoWriMo. It's only 28 days. I know it's the Inkvent is 25 bottles. This is 28, so it's in the same realm. It would make sense, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not already try that, somebody.
Yeah. I don't have much time. Like right now, we're only about a week away from February. So I know that's a scary thought. Here we are in 2023, and it's already a week away from February, or a little over a week. Time is going by quickly. So I don't know if there's enough time to put something like that together. It's really hard for me right now to buy inks. I can't mail order inks because they'll freeze. You know, Minnesota's has the don't buy ink season during the winter here, because you can't buy it. You can't guarantee it won't freeze when it gets delivered.
It's a little chilly when you say.
Well,
little chilly. Little,
you know, right
not
now,
a lot.
I look at my account. I look at the calendar. Right now, it's 23 degrees, which is not particularly cold for mid-January for Minnesota,
Right.
but you know, definitely too cold to be leaving a bottle of ink outside for very long. So in the mailbox.
Oh, we need to put a bottle of ink out and it gets real cold here. See what happens.
Oh, when it gets real cold, like 50 degrees or something.
Yeah, something like that, and see if it gets.
I think you'll be okay. I think you're okay down there.
You think? Okay.
Maybe in the middle of the summer, maybe it would boil.
That would be cool. Yeah. Okay, folks, we're going to shut down here in a minute, but before we go, on our next month, which will be what, February, a meetup, what do you think we should talk about? Dun, 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 dun. Ideas. Dun, 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 dun. Robots, and turtles, squirrels. What? Stan, a man, he's looking, thinking. Tell us, Mr. Stan. Oh, wise and wisdom there.
Oh, maybe. Letter writing ideas, maybe.
Okay, that would be timely, especially if it's, you know, you'll be in the middle of NaNoWriMo at that point. So writing, what do you do when you write a letter? That's a good idea.
Okay, we're going to do brands of ink next time. How's that? Is that what he said? I didn't hear.
No,
That's
I
letter,
got
letter
letter
writing
writing
techniques.
he's breaking up. I can't.
Letter writing.
Letter writing.
Or ideas, or letter, maybe just letter writing in general.
Yeah.
Writing letters. What do you do? How about
Right.
that?
Because
You know, I get different, IncoRhino, typically, if you participate in that, people will do a lot of interesting things. Mine tend to be pretty, I don't get too wild, but here I've got one where this is the one I just answered. She puts stickers on it, and sometimes she even does hand-drawn artwork on her envelopes. This is someone who's way beyond me in terms of letter writing, and they'll do stickers and washi tape or whatever you do. I mean, what does one of your letters look like? Maybe I'll try to remember if I think about it. Maybe write a letter and show, hey, this is what I do. How about that, Stan? Okay. What do you do when you write a letter? And of course, and maybe more general, what are the ideas? What would be a good thing to do?
so it's going to be Saturday of next month. What day do we usually do it on?
It was about the third Saturday.
Third Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time, and we're going to be talking about letter writing. There, almost forgot. So,
better write that down somewhere. I wish you had a notebook or something to write that in.
Yeah, I can put it down in one of these notebooks. Yeah.
Maybe even on a calendar, and that would be if it's the third one, that would be the 18th, right?
Dude.
Yes.
18th? Is that right, Jake?
If only you had a calendar around that you could see.
I don't have a calendar.
Well,
I have the calendar. I have the calendar.
I know you have several.
I used to have table calendars, wall calendars. Bleh. It's enough. So, okay, guys. Well, that's gonna do it. And hey, I had a fun time, believe it or not. I was kind of skeptical, to be honest with you, how it's going to turn out. And I had a good time. I do too.
Thank you. Thanks for holding this.
Yeah, good, great time.
And I'm glad to hear some feedback more about the Clairefontaine. I'm not the only one. I'm not knocking it. We're not knocking it. Just for us. We're just didn't work for us. But there's some people that I know love it and religiously use it, and that is great. There's something for everyone out there.
Exactly. This was back many years ago, or a few years ago. I was just getting back into fountain pens. I had this really beautiful paper. I had this beautiful pen and this beautiful ink, and it just didn't click. And I thought, what's wrong? And I didn't realize. I mean, as I think as Stan was saying, it's a combination. You have to the ink, the nib, the pen, the paper, all of them have to work together to do what you're doing, and there's nothing wrong. I use the paper a lot now, so I don't want to say there's nothing wrong with the paper. It's a beautiful, smooth, well-finished paper. It just didn't happen to work with that combination. So
I tell that. Yep. Yeah. Wow. All this stuff. Important stuff. Oh, I got another calendar right here too. Look, I forgot this guy. Look, Mike, Stan.
Okay.
I forgot him. Got to mention him. He'll be upset. So, anybody want to say anything before we go?
That's it.
Anybody like to say anything before we go? Nope. I guess not. All right, folks, that's going to do it. Mr. Announcer, can you sign it off?
Will do. We are glad you joined us, and see you next time.
Take care, people. Peace and out. Bye. Make them pins. Bye, Stan.
Bye.
Bye, Stan.